Alright, our Bondo's dry. I'm getting ready to sand it down. I'll use 80 grit to do that. You can start with 36 to get it close. It'll go a lot faster. It's pretty close right now, so I'm going to do it, just start with 80 grit. When you do it, when you sand your Bondo down, you need to wear a dust mask. One of those just white, regular dust masks will work. So I'm going to wear this. It's just more comfortable to me, and I feel like it seals better around my face. So I know I'm not getting any of the dust, where I think with the other masks you still get some. So it's the big reason I wear it though is it's just more comfortable to wear. So when you do it, if you've done any research at all on body work other than this video, you'll know when you block sand, you don't want to go like back and forth like this. You need to go at an angle. What you're trying to do is avoid running the edge of this along, so wherever this edge starts to cut, if you move the block the whole length and this edge at the back is in the same spot, you'll cut a stripe, like a little line, a ledge, into your body work. So to avoid that, you just got to move it a little bit up and down as you're going. And so that's the goal, is to not have the leading edge and the trailing edge, and everywhere in between. If you went like this, the entire edge, the entire length of the edge cut along one place. You can see it right there, that one that I did. There's the stripe for it. So just move your stuff at an angle, move your block at an angle to avoid sliding that edge along there. What you're going to start to see as you block out your Bondo, it's going to start, the edges are going to start to feather out. So that's what you want to watch for, that's what you're looking for. Try to get it as flat and as close as you can, to the original panel. The longer the block is, the easier it is, so the long block really helps. So we're just going to cruise along, get that sanded down, and go from there. You've been going long, and it'll feel like you've been going forever, and you just can't get the edge just won't come around. And you'll be going, you'll have made 200 strokes with the sandpaper, and you won't have got the edge to feather. And then all of a sudden, it'll just happen. You'll be going, and in 10 strokes, it'll be there. So when it starts to happen, it will happen fast. So just keep that in mind as you're going, that although it doesn't feel like you're making any progress as you go, you are. Just keep at it, stick with it, and when it starts to happen, it will happen quickly. So just stick it out, basically. All right, so the idea was one quick pass, move on. So unfortunately I got a low spot right there, I'm low right there, and I got one spot right there. So I'm gonna have to put some more filler on it, but that's what it takes, man, to get it right sometimes. So I'm gonna get going on that, and we'll pick back up here in a minute. All right, what I'm doing now, it's got its last coat of primer on it. I've got 400 grit dry on my board, and I'm just going along blocking it one last time just to make sure everything's nice and flat, ready for paint. Just like before, try to move your board at angles. Don't go straight. Nothing technical about it. Just kind of grit your teeth and power through. That's what you want to do. Just I shot a coat of guide coat all over it, so just cruise along. Every once in a while I wipe it down with this. This is just a dry microfiber. Just gets the dust off, lets me see what's going on. So like right here, there's some scratches. Right in here you can see there's some deeper scratches left over from the last go round when I primed it last time. So we're trying to correct all that stuff. We need to get it nice and smooth, ready for paint. So now, take a look at that same area. You can see it's scratch free. I've got a little tiny bit of guide coat left right there. So I'll hit that, get that all slicked out, but this is what we want it to look like over here. So nice and guide coat free, scratch free, smooth, ready to accept the paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and block the whole thing, and I'll come back and show you how to get it totally ready to paint. Alright, so we got it all sanded down. This is our final sand before we paint it. I did the majority of it with a dry 400, and then there's the cracks and crevices and stuff I couldn't get with the block. I did some wet 400 on a little soft foam block. So now it's time to clean it up and get ready to paint it. I'm going to use my Underground Garage brand rubbing alcohol and just a nice clean wipe off. One thing when you're doing this you want to go ahead and just wipe one direction, typically off the panel if that's practical. If you wipe back and forth, you're just taking the debris and whatnot that's on the object that you're painting, and you're more or less moving it around as opposed to taking it off. So I'm going to try to just go one direction and wipe off everything. Something that I see a lot of people do, and that I did myself when I first started, was you'd be going through this process and you'll find something. You'll find a mistake that you made, a little bit of sanding needs to be done, or what always was the worst for me is I'd find something where I needed to use some Bondo, use some body work. And you have to go back and you got to fix that stuff, sand it, prime it, block it all over again. And a lot of guys at this stage, they're so excited, they're so ready to finally put the color down that they'll skip doing that. They'll go ahead and say, you know what, fuck it, and just move on. And I've done that, and I tell you, if it's at all possible, you will feel better about it, and you will have a better result when it's over if you can summon the will to go ahead and fix those things that you find. It's awful to find something right now, but it's better to find it now and fix it than to find it after you got paint on it. So let's go ahead. If we find anything, I'll bring it up and we'll fix it. Alright, it's all wiped down. I'm going to go ahead and mix up the paint. Come back, I'm going to leaf blow it one time. Just go over it with the leaf blower. Blow any type of loose water, dust, any of that stuff off that I can. Then I'm going to tack it with a tack rag. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some paint on it. So just about ready. Alright, I wet the floor. Everything's tacked off. And then I wet the inside of the bed of the truck. The inside of the bed is real dirty and dusty, so I got it wet. And I am ready to go. I'm I've got a clear plastic box I'm going to put over the camera to help keep the overspray off the camera. So let me go get that, and I'll just let the camera run while I shoot this. Alright, I intentionally did that first coat really light. What I want to do, I want to get, let me back up. There's, your paint is mixed with solvent. In this case they call it reducer, but it's essentially a solvent, a paint thinner type material. So the paint that I'm using is mixed 50-50, half paint, half solvent, half reducer. So when I spray it on the truck bed, I'm spraying solvent directly onto that primer. I've had problems in the past, especially on something like this where the primer, I haven't really let it sit as long as I should have. The primer's only been on there about 4 hours. The tech sheet says it's ready to go in 3, but it'd be better if I could let it set overnight. Anyway, when the primer's a little wet like that, or it's kind of hard to say, but if you spray that reducer, that solvent directly onto the primer real heavy, it can attack the primer and cause it to start to bubble and peel off of your workpiece. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get a real light coat on there and get a barrier layer of paint, so that I can come back with the the second coat, the third coat, how many coats it's going to take, and just come back and just hammer it on. You can do that because the solvent won't attack the paint as aggressively as the primer, or maybe the paint is more resistant to it as opposed to the primer. I'm not really sure, but if you do a light coat first, and then you can come back with some medium coats after that, you're going to have less lifting problems, less bubbling problems, things like that. So that's why I did it that way. I just got the 2 other coats to put on. I'm going to do 3 coats of base. I think that'll cover it, and then it's time to put the clear on. Alright, I'm getting ready to mix up the clear. When I painted the bed, it took 2 cups of paint to do 3 coats on the bed. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix up 2 coats of clear. I'm sorry, 2 cups of clear, because I'm only going to try to do 2 coats. The clear normally doesn't go as far as the base coat, so we'll see what happens. I don't want to run out, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix up 2, then I'm going to have a 3rd cup sitting out here staged up, ready to go, just in case I need to run back in, mix up some more clear, and go out there and finish it. But I think I can probably get it with just 2.